Welcome to Next Level Leadership. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated yet powerful tools in leadership: silence. You've heard of charismatic speakers, right? Those leaders who can move a crowd with their words. But here's the truth. Some of the greatest leaders in the world have mastered something far more subtle yet equally impactful: silence. Yes, silence. It might sound strange, but stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why silence might just be your most powerful leadership tool. The power of silence. Why silence is more than just absence of words. Silence doesn't just mean saying nothing. In fact, silence can speak volumes. When used effectively, it projects confidence, authority, and control. Think about some of the most influential leaders you know. Do they speak all the time? Or do they know when to pause, when to listen, and when to let silence do the talking? Silence creates space for others to think, reflect, and process. It also allows you to control the flow of a conversation, giving you the power to steer it in the direction you want. And it's not just about being quiet, it's about strategic silence. By mastering silence, you gain control over interactions and project the image of a calm, composed, and powerful leader. The science behind nonverbal communication. 93% of communication is nonverbal. Did you know that 93% of communication is nonverbal? That's right. Words account for only 7%. So, what does that tell you? Your facial expressions, body language, and the pauses in your speech communicate much more than anything you say. And silence plays a huge part in this. It's not just about stopping the words, it's about how silence affects the dynamics of a conversation. Using silence to project confidence. Silence as a tool for authority. Let's talk about how you can use silence to project confidence and authority. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone keeps talking and talking, trying to fill every gap in the conversation? How does that make you feel? Probably like they're nervous or uncertain. Now, think of a leader who speaks less but uses pauses effectively, making their words count. That's what silence does for a leader. It gives weight to your words. Think about Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. When he's asked a question, he doesn't rush to answer. He takes a moment, processes the question, and then responds with a thoughtful, impactful answer. This makes him appear calm, in control, and confident. The power of eye contact and facial expressions. Silence beyond words. Now let's dive into two key nonverbal elements: eye contact and facial expressions. These are incredibly powerful tools in your leadership arsenal. Eye contact can make or break a conversation. Too little, and you appear weak or distracted. Too much, and it comes off as aggressive. But when you maintain relaxed, confident eye contact, it communicates authority and trustworthiness. Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, is known for maintaining strong but natural eye contact. Her gaze communicates confidence without her uttering a single word. It's a quiet but powerful tool that draws people in and builds trust. Now let's talk about facial expressions. A leader's face can convey a lot of emotions: calmness, authority, empathy, or frustration. Great leaders use facial expressions strategically. They know when to show warmth and when to maintain a serious expression. Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo, is a great example of this. She's known for keeping a composed expression during high-pressure moments, yet she knows when to smile strategically to build rapport. Leaders like her understand that facial expressions speak before words do. Case studies of leaders who master silence. Real-life examples. Now let's look at some of the world's most successful leaders who have mastered the art of silence. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, is a prime example. He often pauses before answering questions in interviews, crafting thoughtful responses that show he's not just speaking for the sake of speaking, he's in control. Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, is another leader who uses silence to her advantage. She has a remarkable ability to pause and listen in times of crisis, allowing her to respond with empathy and authority when it matters most. How to train yourself in silence. Practical exercises. So how can you start using silence to your advantage? Here are a few exercises to help you train yourself in the art of nonverbal communication. Exercise 1. Pause practice. In your next conversation, wait 3 to 5 seconds before responding. This simple exercise allows you to gain control over your responses and give your words more impact. Exercise 2. Controlled eye contact. In meetings or conversations, make it a habit to maintain eye contact for at least 3 to 5 seconds with the person you're speaking to. Exercise 3. Master your posture. Stand tall with a strong posture. When you walk into a room, let your body language speak before you say a word. Exercise 4. Facial expression control. Practice in front of a mirror. Try speaking about a serious topic while minimizing facial movements. Then, add a subtle, strategic smile and see how it changes the energy. The role of silence in negotiation. Let's talk about how silence works in negotiations. Great negotiators know that silence is one of their most powerful tools. When used at the right moment, silence can put pressure on the other party to fill the void, often revealing more than they intend. Consider the negotiation tactics of someone like Warren Buffett, who famously takes his time to respond. He doesn't rush to make decisions or offers. Instead, he waits, listens, and processes the situation before making any move. This approach forces the other party to reconsider their stance, as they're unsure of his position. By remaining silent, you avoid making hasty decisions, and you allow the other party to do the talking. In many cases, this works to your benefit. The other side may give away more than they intended, revealing their true priorities and motivations. The impact of silence on team dynamics. Now let's discuss how silence impacts your team dynamics. As a leader, silence doesn't just affect the way you interact with people. It also influences how your team communicates and performs. When you know how to stay silent in a meeting, you create space for your team to step up and contribute. You encourage them to think critically, share their ideas, and feel empowered to speak up. The silence isn't about withholding feedback, it's about giving your team the chance to develop and find solutions on their own. The silent leadership of great innovators. Some of the most innovative leaders in the world understand the power of silence in fostering creativity and innovation. A perfect example is Steve Jobs. While Jobs was known for his powerful speeches and presentations, his approach to leadership was often quieter and more subtle in terms of interaction. Jobs didn't always fill the room with words. Instead, he often remained silent while his team discussed and brainstormed. His silence gave others the freedom to think and speak without fear of interruption or judgment. This allowed for truly creative solutions to emerge. Silence and emotional intelligence. Another critical area where silence plays a role is emotional intelligence. Leaders with high emotional intelligence are able to use silence as a tool for understanding others on a deeper level. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Silence, when used effectively, shows that you're attuned to the feelings and needs of others. It gives you the space to process emotions, listen deeply, and respond with empathy and care. Consider leaders like Jacinda Ardern, who use silence to show empathy during crises. In her speeches, she often pauses to give people time to absorb what she's saying, allowing her words to resonate more deeply. This pause isn't just a break in speech, it's a demonstration of emotional intelligence. The leadership power of silence. As we wrap up, remember this: silence is not a void, it's a tool, an essential part of effective leadership. By mastering silence, you not only gain control over your words, but also create space for others to think, process, and innovate. Whether it's in high-pressure situations, negotiations, or team dynamics, silence allows you to connect with your audience on a deeper level, project authority, and build trust. It's a leadership superpower that many overlook, but it's one you can start using right away. Leaders who understand the power of silence are not just better communicators, they're better leaders. They know when to speak and, just as importantly, when to stay silent. So, how will you start using silence in your leadership journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how you plan to implement these strategies. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights to help you level up your leadership skills. Remember, the greatest leaders don't just speak. They know when to listen and when to let silence do the talking.